For today and tomorrow, we're going to be going over section 2.3, which is solving inequalities using multiplication or division. These are very similar to solving equations with equal sign, except that we have our inequality symbols. So if I look at 3x is greater than negative 27, in order to get rid of multiplication, I divide both sides by 3. The 3's then cancel. I bring my x straight down. I bring my inequality straight down. And negative 27 divided by 3 is negative 9. So I end up with x is greater than negative 9. Okay, if I look at 2/3 r is less than 6. In order to get rid of a fraction, I multiply by my reciprocal. So my reciprocal is 3 over 2. I do the same thing over here, 3 over 2. These 3's then cancel and the 2's cancel. I bring down my r. I bring down my inequality symbol of less than. I know that 6 is the same thing as 6 over 1. And when multiplying fractions, we multiply straight across. So 6 times 3 is 18. 1 times 2 is 2. Then if I simplify, 18 divided by 2 becomes 9. So r is less than 9. Okay, if I look at 4k is greater than 24. In order to get rid of multiplication, I divide by 4. The 4's then cancel. K is greater than 24 divided by 4 is 6. So I end up with k is greater than 6. Alright, C says 3 over 4g is greater than or equal to 27. In order to get rid of this 3 over 4, I need to multiply by my reciprocal of 4 over 3. And whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. 4's then cancel, 3's then cancel. So g is greater than or equal. We need to put a 1 underneath my 27 and then multiply straight across. 27 times 4 is 108. 1 times 3 is 3. And when I simplify, 108 divided by 3 is 36. So g is greater than or equal to 36. So those were all fairly straightforward. But what happens if you decide to multiply or divide by a negative? This is where they get a little tricky. When you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to flip your inequality symbol. So let's look at doing something like that. I have negative 8x is greater than 72. So in order to get rid of this multiplication, I divide by negative 8. And I divide by negative 8 on the other side as well. The negative 8's cancel. I bring down my x. 72 divided by negative 8 is negative 9. The only thing we have to remember is that since we divided by a negative, we have to flip our inequality symbol. So instead of being greater than, it flips to be less than. So x is less than negative 9. Okay, if we look at negative 3 is less than or equal to x over negative 5. In order to get rid of division, we multiply by negative 5 on both sides of my equation. Those then cancel. Bring down my x. Negative 5 times negative 3 is 15. But I multiplied by a negative, so my inequality symbol has to flip to become greater than. But remember I told you we should always try to get our inequality symbols, or our variables, on the left. So although this is a correct answer, we need to flip it again so the x is on the left. So then we get x, flip our inequality, is less than or equal to 15. Okay, so always try to get your variable on the left. Okay, what about though 10 is greater than or equal to negative x? This looks like it's almost solved except for this negative sign. So remember that this is like negative 1x. In order to get rid of negative 1, we have to divide by negative 1. The negative 1's then cancel, bring down my x, flip my inequality symbol, and 10 divided by negative 1 is negative 10. This is a correct answer, but we always want to have our variables on the left. So if I flip it again, x is greater than or equal to negative 10 would also be a correct answer and would be a better answer because the variable's on the left. Okay, if we look at one more, 4.25 is greater than negative 0.25h. In order to get rid of that negative 0.25, I need to divide by negative 0.25 and divide by negative 0.25. These then cancel, bring down my h, flip my inequality symbol, and 4.25 divided by negative 0.25 is negative 9. Again, negative 9 is less than h is a correct answer, but we always want our variable on the left. So I'm going to flip this again so h is greater than negative 9. Okay, so that's what you guys will be working on. Remember, this is a 2-day assignment. You'll work on it today and tomorrow. So your assignment is page 115, 1 through 41. In order to be on track, you need to get through at least half of those. So you need to get through problem 20 today in order to be on track. Okay, we will finish this tomorrow.